In this session, we'll be discussing issues pertaining to retirement planning. So I think one of the things that we need to appreciate is to say each and every employee one day is going to retire. So I think what is important for us, for example, if you are employed, retirement can come in different forms, whether you're employed or you're in business. So this is whereby you have stopped doing something that was giving you income. Could be monthly, weekly, or at any interval, but you have stopped doing that particular thing. And now you might not have that particular source of income, but now how can you survive? For example, you might have kids, you might have family, and also you might have other relations whom you are supporting or whom you are supporting. And now how do you make sure that you're able to continuously support them when you have retired, for example? So I'll give example. In the Pension Act, I think, of Malawi, we have the retirement age whereby one can be on pension is 70. So someone can retire from the range of 50 to 70 years. But I know like public service and other organizations, the retirement age is 60, depending on what they had agreed. And also for maybe judges, we understand the retirement age is above 60. So even some lecturers, I think in some universities, the retirement age is above 60. And also even when you are in the private sector, for example, someone can work up to 70 years. Sometimes it's up to 75 years. But what we're trying to say is that we have got retirement age, but it means beyond the 70 years, one cannot be on pension, but still can continue to be an employee of a certain organization as long as it's not in the public service, because that's what we need to appreciate. So when we talk about the retirement age, we're talking about the national retirement age, which according to Pension Act is 70. So anyone above 70 cannot be on pension. So that's what we should be able to appreciate. So when we talk about retirement planning, so this is like kind of activities that you are doing to ensure that you can be able to survive after you have retired. So for example, if you are working for an organization and maybe let's assume the retirement age for that organization is 60, so maybe you are 50. What is it that you are doing for you to be able to have something to do when you have retired, when you have reached 60 years? So what is important for us to appreciate, retirement should always start once you have joined employment. You don't have to wait up to the point whereby you're 50, you're 45, you're what, then you start working on the retirement plan. No, you should start working on your retirement plan once you have joined the organization, because that gives you room. Let's assume you have joined at 25. You can retire based on long service. Maybe you can retire at 45, because the law provides that you can be able to retire after 20 years of continuous service with one employer, for example. So you can retire at 45 because you had a plan. When you were at 25, there are certain things that you have done in the 20 years. Or sometimes when you are 50, for example, you can retire, whether you have saved whatever years, but you can retire after you have assumed like 50 years. Regardless of that, you have worked for different organizations. So you can retire between the age of 50 to 60 years. But also you can access your pension funds when you have reached the age of 55. So you can have an early pension contribution being given to you when you are 50 years and you're going to continue working. So in that regard, we should be able to appreciate what age are you, and what kind of how can you access your pension at that particular age. And at the same time, what is important for us also to ensure that we should be able to know what is involved. How much have we contributed as pension to our pension schemes, for example. So you can even retire early. That's also what is important for us to appreciate. And we know how much we're going to earn when we retire, for example. That's what is very, very key, because what I've noted, a lot of employees, when they're employed, they don't know how much, and they think they're going to earn a lot of money. But once they have retired and they realize that the money that they were anticipated is not what they are getting, and now it's like a shock to them. Because you don't have to assume to say, because I've saved so much years, because pension depends on how much you contributed. So you can be able to see, okay, for example, in the first year, how much were you earning? Yeah. So if your employer is contributing 10% of your pension, for example, of your monthly salary, so if you are earning 1 million, it means they are contributing 100,000 for you. If you are earning 1 million, so they are deducting you 50,000 going towards the pension, and the employer is contributing like 100,000, which is 10% of 1 million as pension, as employer contribution. So in total, they are paying you, they are contributing for you, let's assume 100,000, and plus your 5%, which is the 50,000 watch. Now you are contributing 150,000 watch per month. So you should be able to look at to say, okay, 1 year, how much is it? Yeah. So you might find to say maybe after 1 year it's around 1,800,000. Yeah. It's 100 times 12. Yeah. So it's 100 times 12, then 150 times 12. So we're coming up to 1.8 million watch. So you might look to it to say maybe you have saved for an organization for 10 years, for example. So you might be able to say, okay, 10 times 10 times 1.8, assuming the salary is constant. So it's like we have contributed like 18 million. So if you look at the 18 million, you should okay, maybe with interest, maybe they have accumulated to 24 million or 26 million. So that's what is going to come to you. But you should know that whatever, you're not getting the whole lot. You are getting only, with the new pension act, when you retire, you only get 50% of that. So you might find that to say you have 30 million, but what you are earning is only what? 15 million. So you should be able to appreciate to say it's not all that we are going to get, because others will come in as annuities. So on a monthly basis, they have to be paying you and all that. So they'll buy annuities and all that till you die. So this is what we need to appreciate. And now, when you are employed, what is it that you need to do for you to prepare well for retirement? Because now you know how much is going to come to you. So you shouldn't be able to calculate that amount of money that is going to come to you as income at a certain period, because that money is either you can die. You don't have to calculate it to say, or you do not have to value it, because that's even other people have sung songs to say, "Ndrama za pension is no mangirayani nyumba." So make sure that maybe you start a business when you have just joined the organizations. So you start a business. What kind of business? You should learn the trade. So maybe it could be related to your field and also some other business, but you need to learn the basics, because sometimes, I'll give you an example. If you are starting a business of, for example, supplying of furniture, you might think of to say you're meeting players who are already experienced in that particular field, but you might need to learn the basics. Retail trade, for example, you might think you need to start a business, but you might need to learn the trade. How do they do it? So I always encourage people to say, mostly, I think most of the past jobs, you can be able to learn from the past jobs to say, maybe from whatever I've worked, wherever I've worked, maybe this is how they were doing things, I can be able to do something similar to that. Or you might need to invest your knowledge in that particular business, which is new to you. So what you need to do is, when you're however on your holiday, whatever you do when you're on holiday, is what you'll be able to do when you retire. That's the most important thing. What you do weekend, when you're on holiday, on public holidays, is what you're going to do when you retire. That's what you need to be focusing on, to say whatever you do now when you're on holiday is what you'll be doing when you retire. So we should be able to appreciate that and see to say, I think I should be able to do things which are going to transform my income. If you are sleeping, you're doing retirement to be sleeping. So think of starting with a business. If you know, okay, business could come in different. The others you need to be. There are other types of people who are risk averse. Don't like investing in risky businesses, for example. Yeah. So you can be able to do business like, for example, building of houses, for example, buying land, selling land, or maybe putting up some structures, groceries, shops, and all that. Yeah, people will do that kind of thing, because at the end of the day, you might need to have some kind of stable income when you retire. So you might need to have some houses and all that. You might need to start farming, for example, learning the trade of business, farming, poultry, pig farming, goat farming, cow farming, agriculture in general, irrigated agriculture, for example. You might have Idimba and do a lot of maybe extensive rice farming, maize farming, and other crops. Could be soya, groundnuts, and all that. You should be able, even tobacco, cotton, depending on the area where you are, or you can be able to go to that area and be able to do such kind of farming. So that's what is very, very important for us to appreciate. But at the end of the day, you should be able to learn the trade, that kind of trade. So you should study these kind of things, maybe 20 years, 15 years, 10 years before retirement. But let's assume your years are near retirement, then you can now quickly, what kind of business I can learn quickly and be able to invest my money into that kind of business. So whenever you have borrowed like money for like loan, you don't have to use that money for feeding yourself, paying school fees and all that. That kind of money you can look with it for investment. You can buy shares, having savings and all that, and be able to buy. You can have savings, and after the savings, you can be able to invest into a business. That's what is very, very important for us to appreciate. And when you want to invest, you should be looking at the problems. What kind of problems am I trying to solve in this particular area? There might be some areas which have got some problems, for example. I'll give an example. There was a time there were some disasters, for example. So maybe if I will be able to sell plastic sheets and all that, pails and all that, I think I can be able to make business. So these are some of the things that you can be able to identify a problem and be able to provide solutions. Most of the businesses are providing solutions. Because this area, there's no shop, where people are going far to buy things and all that, that's a problem. Then provide solutions. People tend to go to town to buy these kind of things. You can be able to provide a solution. So identify such kind of area. Even if you want to go to town, if you want to open a business close to someone, how unique should I be compared to these other people? We are all selling second-hand clothes. We are all selling shoes, but how unique am I compared to these other people? So the pricing matters and all that, and also the type of branding that I have. At the same time, also what is also important for us to appreciate is also issues of family planning. I think if you want to retire good, I think it's always important that you shouldn't have young children, maybe in your 50s, for example. When you are 50, about there, you should make sure that maybe all your kids are maybe in secondary schools, or maybe standard 8 and all that. But you should be able to have kids as early as possible, so that the rest of their life you are concentrating on investments. And you might have even a spouse, for example. If you're a man, you might have a spouse. You can take that as an asset. Maybe it's not working and all that. Maybe the work that he's doing or she's doing is not all that appetizing. You can now use that and maybe you can resign and be able to invest into a business. You can open up a business for that kind of a person, for example, depending on what she is good at or he is good at. So it could be the spouse, the wife, or the husband can start business. And sometimes some predicaments, because of maybe you have lost a job, those are some points which you need to be able to reflect, to say maybe what kind of business can I venture into. So you have received your money, for example. I've seen other people, when they have received their money, like maybe terminal benefits and all that, they are paying for a house for 1 year. No. You can be able to invest such kind of money. Because once you have paid, where are you going to get the other money now for other things? But when you're invested, you are able to multiply your money. It has got a multiplier effect if you invest somewhere. And you need to invest wisely. So you should be able to understand the market, be able to understand the products. What kind of problems am I trying to solve? Do I understand this kind of business? Don't just be taken away because people are going to South Africa, people are going to Tanzania, people are going to Zambia, people are going to this way, and you are just taken over. No, you don't know the basics of that particular business. You should be able to know the kind of business. And also you should be able to train your kids into the business, for example. You can have a business, maybe your kids are finished up. These days it's difficult for one to get a job. You can now empower your kids by also engaging them into your business. You're going to plan a branch somewhere and another branch somewhere, and your kids will be learning that kind of business. And also you're making them to be independent and they will grow. Because at the end of the day, if they take over that branch, for example, it will be theirs and you are done with that particular person. Rather than your kids should be coming to you and seeking support every time. So independence of your kids also matters in your retirement. That's also one thing you should be able to vary. And also you should look at, they'll say, okay, for example, what I've noted is all of us want make to our kids to go to universities and all that. Maybe you can train them into other aspects which they might not be to do with the universities, for example, but trades which are maybe they can be able to set up a business, carpentry and joinery, welding and fabrication, painting and all that. They will be able to set up a business in that area, and you can support them in such kind of a business. As I said, in a business, you need the technical know-how. So for example, someone who is knowledgeable in carpentry, for example, would be able to do good furniture compared to someone who is not having the knowledge in carpentry, for example. And also sometimes other people talk about relocating. Yeah, sometimes it depends. You want to relocate to an area which is less costly. Yeah, sometimes you are into area 12, for example. You might have to move, let's say, to Likuni, might move to Air Wing and all that, so that maybe the house that is 12, you want to be able to rent it out. Because if you are staying in Likuni, or if you are staying in NRC or Air Wing and all that, or even in Blantyre, you stay at the Chiteka side, or you go after Lunzu, you go there, in the outskirts of Nzuzu, outskirts of Zomba. The house that is in town can earn more compared to the house that is in the area that is outside the town. So you can be able to make money from the house that is in town. So you can also be able to relocate. Because there where you have relocated to, you can have a big yard, and also you'll be able to do some other farming things, for example. Yeah, you're going to be raising cattle, you're going to be raising some animals and all that. And that's your retirement home. And one of the things that is important also is to avoid extravagance. You need to spend wisely. There are ages whereby when you are 35 and above, you should be thinking of retirement. You should be thinking of what kind of investments. When you are 40, then you are at the climax. Now you are thinking of, that's why you have seen a lot of people, maybe they have stopped doing other things because they are now thinking of how to retire. What is also important for us to appreciate is also issues of diet and all that. For whenever we are nearing retirement or when we have retired, what is important for us to look at our diet and how we support we take our families. Physical exercises are very important for us, and also be able to, so that you are in good shape. Because sometimes diseases can take over in your life, and you find that now you are spending much in hospitals than compared to be productive. Because you might not be as productive as you were, but now this is the time now you should be able to be involved in a lot of physical exercises. So what I'm trying to say is, all in all, retirement is something that you're going to be able to plan, to say, what is it that I want to do? And in each and every organization, there was always important to have some people who can come for a session to train your staff members, different kind of businesses, different kind of investments, or how can they invest money, and they should be able to learn what is money and what money can do, and they should be able to learn different trades. At the end of the day, they will retire healthy. Otherwise, what I've observed in most organizations, there are no such kind of talks. But you should be able to prepare people to manage their stress levels. Otherwise, a lot of people are stressed when they retire and they die early. But people who are not stressed at that level, you find that they're able to live longer, 80 years, 90 years, because they don't have any stress. They managed their retirement properly. So the biggest issue is invest. Investment in knowledge, investment in assets, in businesses. No person, maybe few, but most people who have been successful in life, they have not been successful because of employment. They have been successful because of business. They might be employed, but they had to do some kind of, from whatever they are earning, whether they're earning 12 million, but you cannot just be keeping the money 12 million in bank and say, I'm rich. No, they are investing. They are buying land, building a lodge, which is, now you see to say, this person is rich. They are buying trucks because they are getting a lot of salary, a good salary. They are buying minibuses, they are buying lorries, but that lorry is a business. So that's what I'm talking about, to say you cannot be rich through employment. It's through business. Business, no matter what, it will be yours. unless something else happens. And even if you diversify, you find that you are going to very good manners, because if this business fails, another business will be able to do well. So what I'm trying to say is, in short, let's invest in businesses for us to retire successfully. You can do consultancies, you can do businesses, any other kind of businesses, retail, trading, goat farming, agriculture, like the crop farming, among other businesses, stationery, lodges, houses, so many other businesses. But what is important for you is to understand the kind of business that you're going into, because you'll be dealing with people who are knowledgeable in that particular business. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Emmanuel Chinovi, for you to understand more about general life success. If you want more about retirement planning in your organization, we organize sessions regarding retirement planning, and we'll be able to come to your organization and support you accordingly, your employees, so that they change the perspective of retirement. Retirement should be something that should be exciting. Your answer should be excited that is going for retirement. So you should be able to consult us as Change Consult Group. We'll be able to provide such kind of a service. Thank you.